Hello everybody, today I will be discussing society's construction on gender roles and more importantly being able to understand the pros and cons of its existence. To begin, we're going to ask ourselves, what are gender roles? So gender roles are actually a social construct of normativity, meaning that it is an attempt to fit either males or females into a specific mold, how they should behave, they should think, and their opinions. So some examples of gender roles in action would be women being more nurturing, more emotional, and more present in the household, while men are to be less emotional, less nurturing, and more active outside of the household as primary breadwinners. So we see from Newman's book in chapter 2 that society has taken steps forward and progressing towards a more equal field where gender roles don't exist because they have negative effects on society and individuals. So in this presentation, we're actually going to look at both the good and the bad of gender roles and see where you may stand or just to solidify your opinions on it. So the first thing we're going to look on is the cons of gender roles. So as we already know, usually gender roles have negative connotation to it, and it's usually seen as a negative tool in society because it can lead to many negative things such as discrimination and mistreatment. Examples of this could be that women don't belong in the workforce because they're meant to belong in the household and keep the home, or discrimination where men are not meant to play empathetic roles such as teachers or nurses. Also, gender roles play a significant role on affecting individuality. So, because we try to fit male or female or individuals into a male or female role, they have less freedom to express themselves because we generalize them into either group. By doing so, we also hold them to a standard of normal. So because some people may feel that they can't fit these roles, they may feel that they are flawed or that something's wrong with them. So overall, gender roles categorize people into male or female groups instead of allowing people to be free according to their own personal feelings and preferences. Now on to the pros of gender roles. Many people believe that gender roles are a template for future behavior, good future behavior, and socialization because it is such an inherent nature. In fact, we see that children are very aware of gender roles by the age of 2. So to them, having a template such as girls should wear dresses or boys should like sports may be easier for them to understand and may allow them to socialize in the future with people who are also like-minded. So from a child's perspective, consistency is very important because you don't really want to confuse children in how they should behave or how they act. Also, the pros of gender roles would include reward and reinforcement, meaning that we as humans, if we are able to fit into something or achieve a certain goal or role, it may be rewarding to some and it may allow others to gain reinforcement from those around them, such as like-minded people. So if a boy was good at sports, other boys would tell him, "You're great at sports." So it's a form of reinforcement. Now, with all of this being said, we have to ask ourselves what are our own thoughts on gender roles. So, should we as a society work harder to lessen the norms between being male or female? Or would abolishing this stunt the social growth and well-being of future generations because of what we mentioned before as it being a good template for future behavior? Or do you think generalization aids in our capability to be accepted, as we stated, will allow us to get reinforcement from like-minded people? Or should we respect people's sense of individuality, and should that come before the long-lived gender roles? So those are just some of the few things that we can ask ourselves as we explore the pros and cons.